Hello everybody, welcome back to the TheSamoriXperience. I've been very busy. I haven't really had a lot of time to make any videos. Right now I'm in my last week here at the school. After this week I'm going to do a little traveling throughout the country. So I was just trying to squeeze in a few videos before I leave and just update you and let you know what's been going on with me. This video in particular is about my experience living with the Mexican family. I want to say first of all that it did not go well. I moved out around the I don't remember exactly. It might have been like the a little over a month into being here. I moved out and got my own place. Let me explain the living situation with the Mexican family. Okay, you pay per day. I'm not sure how it is for each student because every student has a different circumstance. I'm an independent student. You got some students that come as groups, some students that come as exchange students, some students that are in a college program. The college is sending them here to learn certain things. You know, they may be you may take a person that wants to be a Spanish teacher. Well, that college is sending them here to learn a specific amount of things and live with the family. They want them to do certain things. So I don't know how much everybody pays. If you come as a group, I don't know if you pay the same as independent or what. But with my situation, I was paying about $20 a day. All right, and that totaled out to be about $600 per month. So the first week that I got here, you know, everything was fine. The people were nice in my opinion, you know, everything was good. After a while, we started having some issues, you know. In my opinion, they were very petty issues, you know, side comments that they was making, things like that. So basically after a while, I was fed up and I decided to move out. So the thing is, like, when you come, they tell you you're going to be with the Mexican family. It's an awesome experience, right? The thing is, the family you're not the only person living with the family. They may have 2 or 3 other students, okay? So if the family is receiving money from 3 or 4 students at a time, this family is really getting a lot of money, you know what I mean? For Mexican standards. Now you may look at it as like I'm coming from the US or Europe or Canada, wherever you're coming from, and this is really cheap. But for a Mexican family, they're making a lot of money. You know what I mean? So some of the things that they were complaining about, in my opinion, were really, you know, petty, were really things that I felt like could have been ignored. For example, when you get here, they have a long list of rules that they want you to follow, and the rules aren't anything, you know, out of control or anything like that. They are standard rules. But for a person that's paying to be here, it's one thing if you are just living with somebody for free, then of course, you know, you need to respect the rules of that house. But if you're paying like as if you would be paying to live somewhere on your own, you know, you should have the liberty. You should have liberty to do some of the things that you just want to do, you know. For instance, there was one situation where they have a maid there, and the maid comes in and cleans the room every day, and she changes the towels. Well, I didn't know at first that the lady changes the towels every certain amount of days. She changed the towels every 7 days, right? So after like the 5th or 6th day, I was kind of like, I don't know if they're going to change the towels or what. So I took the towel to a laundromat, washed it, and brought it back home. Well, like the next day, they made a comment to me about taking the towel to a laundromat, right? So, but the way they handled it was kind of like I had stole some furniture out of their house or something like that. You know, it was like a huge deal. I was kind of like, you know, I know you're not making a big deal out of this. So, you know, that was just one thing amongst a lot. You know, I kind of felt like they really act like I was really stealing something out of their house, you know. So the thing is, they basically don't want their lives to be disturbed, you know. And you have people some people never been out of their country before. A lot of people, this is their first time in Mexico, not really used to things. They need to get adjusted, you know, and some things, you know, it just didn't go well for me. It just didn't go well for me. So I was really upset with myself for not moving out earlier. But when you get here, you're so overwhelmed with information and you're so busy trying to keep up, you know, trying to stay focused on your objective, that I didn't have time to be trying to search for a place to live, move out, and go through all that. You know, that's a hassle. I wanted to just do what I had to do, stay here, and leave when it was time for me to leave, you know. But it kind of got to a point where I had to go. For instance, the Mexican peso fluctuates daily. You know, what it is on Monday, it may not be that on Friday, you know. So what they do is they change what they say. Okay, let's say for instance, the Mexican peso is 12 pesos to $1, right? And at the end of the week, it's 13 pesos to $1, okay? They change. The family says, well, whatever it is when it's time to pay, you need to pay that, okay? But normally here, in other places where you rent rooms, people don't do that. People just say, for instance, you pay 1,500 pesos per month, and that's that. Whether it changes or not, they eat the change. You know, it's no problem. But what they do is say, you need to pay whatever it is today. Here's the problem. When you go to the ATM, or however you paying, when you take out money, the ATMs, the stores, the banks, the schools are all on different exchange rates. So you don't know what the exchange rate is going to be, you know? So it's kind of like you don't know if you overpaying or underpaying or what, you know? So that was an issue, and when I tried to address it with them, they made it seem like I was making it seem like they was trying to cheat me out of some money or something, so they got offended and all kind of stuff, right? So I was just like, okay, you know, I need to be focused on learning this language because it's complex. It's you know, this is really a distraction for me, you know. So a friend of mine from the school had, luckily, you know, I've been meeting a lot of people, and a friend of mine from the school showed me a spot where he was living, and he's living in a house. How it goes is there's people that know students coming from all over the world, and what they do is they rent out rooms for very cheap, you know. And where my friend was staying, a lady had a room available. So basically I moved into that room, very cheap. You know, this room that I'm in now is bigger than the room that I was in over there. And I'm paying way less, you know. So I'm just making this video for people in the future that are planning on coming here. You may be doing your own research into what your experience is going to be like. And I didn't think that I was going to go through what I went through. You know, I wish somebody would have gave me a heads up, you know, because had I known, I would have tried to get my own spot the day that I got here. Some people, before they get here, they already have friends here, and they have people telling them how it's going to be. So when they get here, they may live with their friends for the first couple of days while they search for a place to live, you know. And since I've moved out, I've had other people come to me and tell me about the problems that they're having with their family, how they want to move out. And I recommend to everybody, especially if you're an adult and you're used to being alone on your own, you're very independent. It's one thing if you are 17 or 18, you live with your parents anyway, you know, you don't really know how to get around and things like that, then that's one thing, you know. But if you're independent like myself, then definitely when you come, you definitely want to find you a place to live. You know, they got rooms that are very cheap. Like I said, I was paying almost like $600 a month living with the family, Where I'm staying now, it's almost like $100 a month. It's a little over $100 a month. Food is not included, but that's okay because I'm within walking distance of my school. Along the street where the school is, there's nothing but restaurants where the food is real cheap. I mean, you may spend $4, $5 and eat a meal. You may be good for that night. You know, you don't really need to go grocery shopping unless you just want to. You know, there's a grocery store right near here. Everything you need is right along the street of the school. So if you can find you a place near here, then you're good. You know? So, other than that, the school has been fine. I'm very happy. I feel like the faculty has went beyond the call of duty to help me and ensure that I learn as much as I can. This is the only problem that I have had since I've been here, and I took care of that pretty fast. Within hours, I moved out. I was in my new spot, situated, and back studying, doing what I needed to do. So consider that. Consider your living experience. Consider your where you're gonna excuse me. Consider where you're gonna live when you get here. You know what I mean? Because that can destroy your whole experience. I know some people right now that's kind of pissed off for whatever reason. And then also it's all opinionated. This was just my experience. I see some people, they tell me that they are totally happy with their family. They talk a lot. They you know, they don't have any problems. They enjoy it. You know, so it just all depends on the family that you're with, and if y'all personalities compel and you don't have any problems, then it'll be good for you. But if it's not, then don't hesitate to find a place to live, be it moving in with somebody or be it renting a room. There are some places that are very expensive and there are some places that are very cheap, and just because it's cheap doesn't really mean that it's going to be you know, trash, below substandard living or anything like that. But you know, at the same time, you get what you pay for. Okay, so thanks for watching. This is the TheSamoriXperience. Please check out my other videos, and this video in particular is for future students that plan on coming here. If you have any questions, call me, not call me, but leave me a comment in my comments box, and I'll try to respond to you and help you as much as I can. Thanks.